Everybody, Tom Tezak, and today on Selling the Dream podcast, we're going to learn about being the DJ for content. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Selling the Dream, a podcast created for and by second home and resort realtors. I'm Tom Tezak, and each week my goal is to bring you a quick real estate tip along with an info-packed interview with an industry rock star. My mission is to bring you cutting-edge marketing, tried-and-true sales techniques, and information about the latest technologies. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, we're not selling real estate, we're selling the dream.
Hey everybody, Tom Tezak with Selling the Dream set for second home agents, and I'm with Christoph Chu from Beverly Hills, California. Christoph, thanks so much for showing up to our show today, and how you doing today?
I'm doing great. You got to make every day great, right?
Absolutely. So, Christoph, you sell in basically the Beverly Hills, West LA market.
Yep.
You do a super luxury market base. We have agents from all over the country, from the Midwest,
Cool.
from all over different markets. So just to give an idea, what is your price point that you basically work in? I know that there's ultra luxury, there's luxury,
Right.
and then there's the traditional or the entry markets. So tell us a little bit about that.
So my average price point, first of all, years ago, my average price was like $280,000. Now, in today's world, the last few years, some years it's like 14 or 15 million average, 8 million average, 9 million. It depends on if you have a couple of really big sales that bumps up the numbers. You have a couple low sales, it goes down. But we really sell everything. I get referrals from agents from all around the country. We did some last year for $575, $750. Whatever comes, if it's in our market, we can sell it. So, so we do a pretty wide range and listings up to, 65, 100 million sometimes. And so it's a pretty
Nice.
wide range.
Yeah. And then what did you do before real estate? I'm curious. Or have you always been a realtor?
Almost my entire adult life. So I got my license when I just turned 18.
Oh, wow.
And that happened because my wife now of 26 years, we were dating, and I was a fashion model at the time. I was traveling quite a bit around the world, sometimes 3-4 months at a time. And she said, you need to get a stable job. And I'm like, well, what'd you have in mind? I was 18 years old. I didn't know much of anything. And she said, how about getting into real estate? And as a young, kind of dumb 18-year-old, I thought, okay, I can drive a fancy car. I can be my own boss. I can show pretty houses and make a lot of money. I didn't realize there were such things as escrow and title and loans and qualifying and market knowledge, contracts. I just didn't even know that stuff existed. So that's how it started. So I got my license at 18. I was actually in Europe that summer modeling, and I was laying on the beach in Saint-Tropez at Club 55 with my real estate study book studying for the exam. And I came back, took my test, and got my license and started selling real estate at 18. So it's been over 30 years now. So
that's a unique, most agents in our world are not typically realtors. They're typically something else before they start to get into this business. So it speaks to why you're so successful, and you've been doing it a long time, at least a couple of years, I'm sure.
It's so ingrained in my life and my blood. That's kind of like all I really know is real estate. So,
so how much of your business is secondary market or absentee owners, resort property, or not necessarily resort for you, but I guess it'd be more like second homes, city homes.
Second homes, and it is a resort because Beverly Hills is very similar to Maui in the sense that it's a destination, just like New York City or Miami or Maui, where people want to come and have a vacation and enjoy the lifestyle of Beverly Hills, the shopping, the restaurants, the beaches. We're so lucky here because we have Beverly Hills in the center. We have skiing an hour and 20 minutes away. We have the beach 20 minutes away, and the desert 2 hours away. So we're very centrally located to really 4 different really great resort type of areas. So it's very common. People come here for vacations. They love it, and they end up buying a 4th, 5th residence here in LA, whether it's a condo or a big home or a smaller home sometimes, but they do like to own properties here, both from the level of appreciation and investment, and also to have a nice place to come enjoy with their family or friends when they come to Los Angeles.
Okay. So that you really do speak to the market. So it's just a different price point than many of our clients are.
Well, Maui is very expensive. I have a lot of my friends that, have houses in LA that also have houses in Maui, and, good oceanfront is what, 12, 14, 20 million today?
We're pushing 20 million now in the premium markets. So yeah, absolutely. So Christoph, so you do a ton of business internationally, which is always a an interesting market. Brings on a bunch of different challenges being an international broker. But
For
first
sure.
of all, how do you connect with all of those international buyers? Is it referral? Is it social media? What are you doing to find that buyer in China or in France or in
Well, it's a
Germany or
very
wherever they're coming
interesting
from?
question, and there's basically two ways that occurs. One is organically by just creating a lot of content in social media, meaning I post a lot. I have a lot of connections all around the world. I have, I think, about 130,000 followers on various platforms of social media. And I do a lot of videos, as you know. I was one of the forerunners in doing videos about 12 years ago. And I do a lot of videos just kind of describing the areas and neighborhoods, driving tours, sharing the different types of locations and the types of homes and prices and who lives there and the lifestyle. So that's one source that has attracted, and it's all about attracting clients, that has attracted clients because they start a search on Google about Los Angeles or Beverly Hills or Bel Air. My content pops up very frequently on Google searches. Like if you search Beverly Hills real estate on Google and you click the video button, usually the first 5-10 pages, more than half of all the videos are my videos about the area. So people see that, they follow it, then they may start emailing me and telling me about their interest in buying a place down the road, and then we start that process. And that's one aspect that didn't really exist, 5-6 years ago. That's when it started monetizing. The second element of that is I do travel a lot. I speak several languages, and I travel all around the world, and I have been my whole life. And in the world of the target market I want, which is probably like you, someone who's going to buy a $15-20 million oceanfront vacation home, it's kind of like someone buying a $10, $20, $30 million vacation home here in Los Angeles. It's the same thing. So the wealthy people of the world, it's like a private club. Everybody seems to know each other. When we go to London or Paris or Rome, we go to parties or we go to certain clubs, private clubs or restaurants, we see friends from all over the world. So like last night, it's Oscar week in LA. So a lot of our friends from around the world are in town for the Oscars. And it's like, we've been out every night this week. I mean, it's just crazy. But it's great because last night there was a friend's dinner party and we saw friends of ours from London, from New York, from Dubai, from Paris. There were, 50 people there. We knew probably 40% of them. And these are people that will refer us to their friends that are thinking to buy in LA. And a lot of those people have their vacation home here, but they live in London and they have a place in New York. And so it's either organically from the new world of social media and video marketing, but I would say more so it's from the referrals. It's people who know me.
So you're being out there connecting the dots. You're pressing the flesh, meeting people. Always. I always see you out and about. You're always bigger than life, and I think that becomes memorable. And that's part of that's everybody, I think, that's successful in this business. Not everybody can do that. They have different paths. Some are marketing wizards, and I know that there's agents in my market that are very gregarious and they know everybody and that's a path. And that's but being so global, I was curious. Yeah. So you're just traveling the world and getting to connect with your friends and connect.
Here. I mean, the reality is almost everybody wealthy we know comes to LA at some point in time or multiple times. So like, I said to my wife last night on our way to the dinner party, and these dinner parties, typically in Beverly Hills, the social world is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We don't have a lot of parties on Fridays and Saturdays. Mostly people who work, they go out on Fridays and Saturdays. That's their nights to party. But people in the world of money, they go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it's like every night this week we've been going out, and it starts 8 o'clock cocktails. You have dinner at like 9:30. Get home to like 1 o'clock in the morning, and then I got to get up at 5:30 to go to work. So last night on the way to the party, I said to my wife, "Oh, I'm so happy. Tomorrow night we don't have to go anywhere. Just stay home, watch TV, sit by the fire." And then, of course, some of our friends from London are here. They're like, "Oh, we're having a dinner tomorrow night at Avra at 8 o'clock. We want you to come." So we're going. Because it's building the network. We like to go out, but sometimes it can be certain times of year. It can be back to back, night after night, and sometimes it's 2 or 3. We missed a party last night earlier because then I went to work, went home to change. I just didn't have time to go to that party and then the other party, and then it just. But I think socially, the parties are a big part and element of attracting those kinds of clients.
Yeah. So the social and the social media part, you'd said something a little bit earlier. You've been doing video for 12 years, but you just started seeing a monetization effect in the last 3 years now?
Maybe
5
it's
years?
longer. So let me think now. Yeah, well, I started doing videos. Tom was my coach at the time, and we were, I think, 3 or 4 years into doing videos, and I created maybe 800 videos, getting lots of interest and all that. And I kept saying to Tom, it's not monetizing. And to me, if I'm going to do something, I want it to monetize. I want it to get me buyers and sellers. And he said, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's going to happen. And the first magical occurrence happened. I think it was maybe a month or so after that particular conversation. I get a phone call. I was at the office. My assistant says, this lady wants to talk to you about buying a house. Get on the phone with her. She had dropped her daughter off to school. She was heading back home. And she'd been working with a broker for a year and a half in my company, couldn't find the house, wasn't happy, wanted to change brokers. And I said to her, well, how'd you find out about me? I saw your videos. And I said, really? Which videos? She saw one of my driving tours of Bel Air, a particular part of Bel Air, and I do many driving tours. And then secondly, she saw my helicopter tour of the most expensive homes in LA, which was one of my first videos 10 or 11 years ago. And I said, well, what made you decide to call me from those 2 videos? And she says, you were honest. And then number 2, if you spent that much money renting a helicopter to do that video, you'd spend money to market my house. I said, great. I said, well, how was I honest? And there was this particular street in Bel Air called Stone Canyon, which is a beautiful area. It's about a 5-minute drive from downtown Beverly Hills, and it's north of Sunset. And it's called Stone Canyon because it's an ancient river that's now a street, and it's in the canyon. So it's got beautiful homes from like 4.5 million up to 45, 50 million. But it is in a canyon, and I'm very honest in my videos. I said, if you're a sun lover, this may not be for you, because the sun will rise a couple hours later in the morning because of the hills.
Right.
It will set a couple hours earlier in the afternoon because this, just the topography of a canyon is such. And she said to me that they were an escrow on a home on that street. They were doing their inspections, and they were there at like 3:30 in the afternoon. It's beautiful $10 million estate. And it was dark at the pool. She says there was no sunlight at the pool at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's one of the reasons she called me, because I was honest. So, but it took 4 or 5 years till that started. But from that one call, they bought a house for over 10 million. I sold their house for 5 million. They referred me a friend who bought for 5 million. His secretary, I sold her condo for 475, and she bought a house for 1.4. And that all happened within 90 days of the call. So
wow.
No monetization for 4 years, and then we did 24 million in sales in 90 days from that first video phone call, or that first call from video. So I thought, this works. I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, and I asked that because of the agents that are watching, and I know there's all these new things where try this and do that, and it gets frustrating sometimes when we don't feel that monetization of it. So I love the fact that you were just doing it because it was something. So, well, we think this is going to work. And you had mentioned Tom before, just so everybody knows. Tom Ferry is who you're speaking of. Both of us are in that organization.
And here's one thing that's very important, because I've been doing this a long time, and you have to follow what's right for you instinctively. So when I started doing videos, and how that occurred essentially was, in those days, this is 12 years ago or so, the thing was websites, because websites started, 15 years ago, 20 years ago?
20 years ago, yeah.
And so we, created a website, kicked it out, and created a new one. And that was kind of the thing. And in those days, it was the blog. You had to write a blog, and videos weren't really happening in those days. It was like you have to, and we do all these parties, and I go around, I'd take photos, and I'd have to write for the blog. But I'm not a writer, so it would take me an hour or 2 to write a blog about a party or whatever, and then post it. It was just very time consuming, and I'm not a writer. So once I started getting that voice thing where they could transcribe your things, I started doing that because that was easier. That I can talk and say what I need to say as long as it can be transcribed, but that was difficult because it wouldn't transcribe properly. It wasn't really me. And then I was at the Tom Ferry conference in Palm Desert 10, 11 years ago. I think it was 2007. And Gary Vaynerchuk came to speak. And Google had just purchased YouTube. And Gary, I was in the front row, and Gary was talking about, you got to start doing videos. And he said, you're Mr. Beverly Hills, your lifestyles of the rich and famous. You need to be a DJ for content in your community. That really rang a bell for me. DJ for content in my community, video.
I love it.
So that's what started. So that afternoon, we were done at 5. I left the conference and went to Best Buy or Good Guys, one of those places, and bought my first flip cam. And it was Palm Desert, middle of August. It was August 18th, if I remember correctly, and it was 118 degrees that day. So my assistant was with me. I bought the tripod, the flip cam, was on the balcony of the hotel, and I did my first video at the balcony saying, what the heck am I doing in middle of Palm Desert in August at 118 degrees? And I talked about the conference, and so that's when I did my first video because Gary said it, and that really resounded with me because I'm a Leo. I'm not an actor, but I can turn on a camera. Most of my videos are unedited, unscripted. They're just, I turn the camera on, I record one time, and I post it. Good or bad, say silly things. People like natural reality. TV is the number one thing. So that just resonated with me. So I just kept going on with it because, again, that works for me. So that's why I keep doing videos because it's simple, it's easy, and it really fits my personality well.
Well, and I think you said something that what Gary said would be the DJ of content for your community. And it doesn't need to be, I mean, people are watching, it's like, well, I don't live in Beverly Hills or I don't live in Maui. It's like, if you're in Sun Valley, you've got some amazing ski areas. If you're in Lake of the Ozarks, you got some amazing restaurants on the lake. All these different places that people that are coming into a second market. I've just personally been a buyer looking at real estate in a secondary market. And I found that it's the greatest experience I've ever had.
Yeah.
Because there's all these things that I want to know that the agents either already know or just assume or don't realize. And so if there was somebody out there creating the content about, where's the best place to shop? Where's the best place to do this? And I think it's so helpful when somebody focus or finds those videos. I
think that's important. I mean, I do so many kinds of videos. I show the restaurants, I show the shopping. I mean, Rodeo Drive is 2 blocks away. I have 25 of the top restaurants in Los Angeles within a block or 2 of my office. I go out to lunch every day because aside from meeting clients or other agents or my escrow or whatever, my team, it's a great place to meet and greet people in the community. And I'll be at Villa Blanca or Spago, and all of a sudden a friend's here from New York. I'm like, what are you doing here? So I talk about everything, like literally a DJ of all the content. So, and what I've been doing more recently is when issues occur or problems or questions occur, I'm trying to create videos about it. So I work with a lot of international buyers. So I've been doing some videos because I would get questions on YouTube about, I'm a foreign buyer, what's the process, what's involved in buying, what are the regulations. So I do videos about that. I talk about videos when you're an international buyer that has bought here and then you're going to sell. That's a little bit different. As a foreign national, there's withholding taxes, there's ITIN, tax ID numbers, there's all sorts of things. So I create videos about that. And literally a month and a half ago, got a couple emails, a couple of months ago from a guy in London, and sometimes you don't know if they're real or not. He starts emailing me about what he wants to do. He wants to buy a vacation place here. I said, how'd you find out about me? He saw my video about what's involved as an international buyer in Los Angeles. He's an attorney in London. And he bought a place, but he saw that video. I don't know. He found it on Google or YouTube. I guess he just typed in international buyer United States. He saw the video. He liked it. He liked me, and he called me, and we did business. So I just keep trying to put out more and more content that's relative to the consumers that I work with.
Well, and I think that's interesting too, because quite honestly, there could be people watching your video wanting to be international buyers in a different marketplace, but they're using you as a resource, which I would imagine there's also a referral opportunity that may exist when that happens as well.
International buyers, the criteria of what the rules are federal rules, U.S. rules. It doesn't change state to state. There's obviously little local things like California state taxes versus other states that may or may not have that. But overall, the generality is it's the federal rules and regulations that keep changing. I mean, they've changed quite a bit in the last 5 years under Trump. So right now we're dealing with a specific issue of a client, and we're dealing with some changes and things that are not what they used to be. And now, like today, we're consulting with some international tax lawyers to figure out the solution. And once we figure out that solution, I'll be doing some videos about that, what it was before and the changes now and what the answers are. Because, in life, things are always changing.
Oh, I think that's such a great, great way to look at the videos is creating all different kinds of stuff, not just pretty pictures of houses, but or restaurants. But hey, here I'm your resource for things that you really need to know as well, or things you didn't know you needed to know. Even more important, that you become the hero when you tell them the truth or you tell them what's happening. So I think
I do videos
fabulous.
about the process of an escrow. I do videos about what are the typical buyer closing costs, what are the typical seller closing costs. Time is always a challenge, so I'm trying to do more and more interviews with, most of my buyers pay all cash, particularly foreign buyers, but there are a few foreign buyers, maybe 1 out of 10, that like to finance. But when you're a foreign national, there's only a few banks that do foreign national loans, and those rules change as well. I mean,
Yep.
it could be 40% down, now it's 30% down. There's a couple banks that do it. So we're going to do some interviews with my foreign national lender specifically about that, like a one-on-one interview. I've done interviews with my feng shui master. Every year, the feng shui master comes to my office. He feng shuis my office. So we talk about the importance of feng shui and what he does and how that works. So this is how I share and create videos of things that are of interest to me or things I think are of interest to my base of consumers or potential clients. And again, it is an attraction tool because if people watch your videos, they like the content, they like you, they're going to call you. And if they call you, and because I always say, how do you find out? I said, I saw your videos. That's already telling you they're going to do business with you. Because if they don't,
Right.
They won't call you. If they don't like it, they're not going to call you. They're going to call someone else.
Well, and that's what I found is that I do a lot of video as well, so I'm a big fan. I've had several times I've gotten phone calls from people, and exactly what you're saying. Hi, Tom. They're talking to you as they know you. They've already committed to you being their client, and you don't know who the heck they are. And it's the best feeling. And when you start to figure it out, it's like, oh, they watch my videos. They watch, and they don't watch what I think is important and creating content. They don't watch one video and say, I'm going to call Chris. They watch 40 of them.
Right.
Or whatever they can consume because they get so enamored with your style, your personality, and they're getting all. And so by creating different types of genre in the videos, I think is really important because it gives them a touch of a lot of different things.
Right,
So,
and you never know what's going to attract someone. And that first call when I first monetized the video, I remember the wife said to me, and we'd never met. It was just a first call, and it was about a 45-minute phone call because I was wondering. They were looking a year and a half, another top agent at my company. I'm like, that's always a little question, what's happening? Right. And she said that, well, my husband is a big attorney. He's a partner in one of the biggest real estate law firms in the country with several offices in several cities. And she said that the husband wanted to meet me and interview me. And I've never had to go be interviewed to be a buyer's agent. That's never happened. And it was he wanted to meet at 8:30 on a Monday night, which is kind of late to go meet someone, right? So, and they lived in Bel Air. So I went over there, sat down, and he was an attorney. So I had my legal size yellow legal pad, like, and I said, and I can talk about him because we did a TV episode when they bought their house. I said, Mr. Nancis, do you mind if I have my legal pad and ask you questions? He said, absolutely. So I started going through the qualifying questions, how you want, all that different stuff. It was about 30 minutes into the conversation, and he was answering every single question very readily. And I just felt right. I said, I said, Tony, why don't we just go ahead and start working together? He says, Christoph, he says, my wife decided to hire you the first phone call. I said, then what are we going through this exercise for? And he says, I just wanted to meet you face to face. And that was it.
I love it.
We looked at houses and they bought that house, I think 3 weeks later.
I love it. Perfect. So you're doing all this content, lots and lots of video. Where are you putting it? I know you're on YouTube. Are you on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and all of those places? And how are you repurposing or are you creating it differently for the different venue or the different channels or platforms?
So when I create, most of my videos are recorded videos, and then I post them on various channels. Now, obviously, every platform, Instagram is a minute. Instagram stories are 15 seconds. Facebook is unlimited, length of time. YouTube is, I have a channel where I have unlimited length of time for videos. Twitter, I think, is a minute and a half. So everything's a little bit different. So depending on what it is, I try to keep most of the videos under a minute if I can, because that's the general attention span. But obviously certain topics, my monthly market updates, those are typically 8 to 10 minutes long. Everything is, my driving tours can be 8 to 20 minutes long. They go everywhere they can go. Obviously they go on every platform, but like my driving tours, I typically don't post those on Instagram because they're long and it's just too lengthy. But they go on YouTube, they go on Vimeo, they go on Facebook, they go on my website. LinkedIn, I think, is 10 minutes long. and then now I'm on Instagram TV. That's 10 minutes long. So sometimes they just have to be cut and edited, or part 1, part 2, part 3. But I generally don't particularly create specifically content for that platform, unless it's like a live video. And it just sometimes just depends on time. We were at a really great party on Tuesday night, and I just wanted to do it live. And I'm always testing different things, live versus recorded, and seeing. So I just did a live, I think it was like a 4-minute video, just seeing the party starting, showing the venue, showing some of the things about it. So I just follow my instinct at that moment with my time, and also at parties in particular. I don't want to spend the whole party, doing videos and not enjoying the party. So, I'm always testing and trying, retooling, and we do high production videos for properties. I have a lot of beautiful listings, so we do the full production videos of the production crew and stories and all that stuff, which is very costly, very time consuming. A video we did last year for a $52 million property that took us 4 days to shoot. But also, what I found is that I love production videos because they're pretty and they're polished and they're very nice to look at. But what's interesting is the consumers, I'll go to the same property and I'll do a walking tour video. I'll literally just take my phone with the wide angle lens on it, just do a quick introduction. Hey, it's Christoph. I'm at this property. Let me take you on a virtual showing of the property. And I'll literally walk them through as if they're with me and I'm showing them the house. The consumers much prefer those videos to the production videos. It's really interesting because they can really see what the house is like.
Right.
I'll do a production video. I'll post it on YouTube. I'll do the next day, maybe or even the same day, a walking tour video. The walking tour videos will get 5 to 10 times more views and real interest than the production videos. So, like I said, I just keep trying and testing, and I'll sometimes be at the listing and I'll do a live video version of that. I don't like the live so much because it's not as the definition is not HD, so quite often because of the internet connection. So, like I said, I'll have a listing, and depending on how long it takes, it could take a year or more to sell sometimes. So, I might have 20 or 30 videos of that property over a year's time. As I'm showing it, I might be a 20-minute delay in the showing. So I'll just do a 30-second video of the garden and the pool or whatever. If I have that little voice in my head that says, "Oh, let's do a video," I try to do the video.
So, and I love the idea. We have listings that last for a while here too, and it's like, oh, we already got a video done, so we don't need to do another one. But really, it's just another great way to just keep touching it, because it's the same thing. We're waiting. We're always, we're showing, and there's times when things just. Sorry about that. My phone was ringing. So sometimes they just don't go the right way, and we have that time where we're sitting there. What a great opportunity to just focus on one little part of the house. I love that you just do the garden, or maybe just do the kitchen, where you're not doing everything. So what do you? 2 questions. What are you using to do the videos with? And 2 is, do you have somebody who works for you that edits the video, or do you send it out, or how do you do? So both of those questions.
So most of the videos I do just from my phone, and I purchased every video camera known to man the last 12 years, from my first flip cam to Sony flip cams to SLR video camera. I mean, to GoPro 1, 2, 3, here, all that stuff. I have never really liked the external video cameras, because you have to record it, then you have to use the chip and upload it, and it was just too difficult. So now that the phones in the last 2-3 years, the iPhones have come out with such great quality videos. Also, the iPhones, if you use the regular iPhone camera, it actually stabilizes the video. Most of the cameras you buy external, even the flip cam, you do videos and there's no stabilization. They're shaky, and they just don't look so good. So the iPhone is the best video tool I have found. It's always with me. And I have a wireless mic for it. I have a clip-on Olo clip, which gives me wide-angle lenses, telephoto lenses. So that's pretty much all that and I have an attachment for a tripod that will put my phone on a tripod. So that's all I travel with. I have drawers full of old video cameras that I just don't use. I just never liked them. They weren't user-friendly. But I basically use the video app. The only problem with the Apple Video app, or the video function, it doesn't reverse when you're recording. So I can't do an intro and then flip the camera and start my tour. So for that, I use another app. I think it's called Movie Pro, where I can literally, record the front side, push a button, and it rotates it, and then I can do my tour. But
so it continues continues on one video. Got it.
Right, but the Movie Pro thing is it doesn't stabilize. So that's why I'm always testing new technology and new things, and you learn by doing. Because I'm like, why is it stable and why is this one not stable? Oh, this doesn't flip. So I'm always just testing different things.
So are you doing the editing yourself, or are you handling?
I don't edit. I don't edit.
Oh.
I do my video.
Oh.
I try to keep it under a minute usually, and especially if I'm at a party, I'll just do the video. Taking me a minute, one take, and I just post it on Instagram, Facebook, the main ones, and then it's gone, and then YouTube, and then it's done. But I never really edit my videos. The only ones that are edited are the ones that are done by the production companies.
So that's a great point. Again, we go to these events regularly, and people say, "Oh, I don't know, I can't do this. It's too hard. I don't want to edit. How do you do this editing?" It's like, screw it. You just don't. You get comfortable enough. You do it, and you make a mistake. And I think you said it earlier. The walkthrough videos, they're the most real. People, it's okay for you to flub. I mean, everybody does it, and it creates that sense of you're a real person instead of some plastic kind of make-believe.
In almost every one of my videos, somehow I see something silly or stupid, and I catch myself, and I just, maybe 40% of the time, I'll laugh at myself in the video, because I'll say something and I just start laughing at myself. People love that. They just like that it's just whatever it is, you know?
Right. I love it. Changing gears a little bit. We talked so much about video, and I love it. I think this is so much value for everybody out there just to get comfortable with doing it. But do you do any farming? Do you do you have any other silver bullets, so to speak, that you use that have helped your business?
I've never had I don't know if you call it brick and mortar or dirt farming. I've never farmed. My farm is my social sphere and my city. But I don't do mailers. Years ago, we did mailers to past clients, but I try to market the way I consume things. So like, I often, don't get home till late, or if I get home, I'm home for 20 minutes to change before a dinner party. And I go to my desk, I pick up my pile of mail, I go like this real quickly, trash, 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 trash. I mean, I get maybe 3 to 4 postcards a day at my house from different realtors. And so I personally don't think mail works, although it works for a lot of my friends if they do a lot of it consistently over time. But so I don't. So how do I attract clients? I think it's social, it's video. There's no farm per se. We used to call expired listings and for sale by owners. We're getting back to that because now they exist again.
Right.
It's mostly personal relationships, a lot of agent referrals. So, for example, last year, I think a quarter of our business came from agent referrals, which we really appreciate. Wow. So I thought of doing something different because quite often, since I'm well known in the industry, brokers are calling me saying, can I come shadow you for the day? Can I pay you to spend the day with you and all that stuff? And I just don't do that. It's too evasive to what I have to do during the day. But I thought, okay, I'm going to do a referral contest this year. So for 2019, my contest is, I was gonna do a trip to Maui. I was gonna say, okay, you send me a referral. At the end of the year, you're gonna pull a hat and you're gonna get a first-class trip to Maui. And I thought, no, wait a minute. I said, I'm in beautiful Beverly Hills. A lot of people want to come to Beverly Hills, right? So I switched it, and I thought, people are always asking me to come spend time with me. So and these are agents, so let's make it that. So the contest is anyone who sends me a referral that closes this year, the end of December, we're gonna do a drawing. Each referral that closes will be one name in the hat. And whoever gets pulled will get 2 nights, first-class airfare to Beverly Hills, 2 nights at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and spend the day with me. We'll go to Spago for lunch. We'll go look at properties, and we'll just hang out, and they'll see what I do. So that's my thing for this year for referrals. And I thought, why not?
I love it. I did see that. Actually, I'm very seriously contemplating R&Ding that. So
you should. I mean, everybody.
I got Maui, right?
Everybody. Yeah. I mean, we used to come to Maui 2-3 times a year just to get away. It'd be like a Thursday afternoon. I'm like, honey, let's go to the Four Seasons for 5 days. And we just hop on a plane, go to Maui, and just lay on the beach, right? Just to relax. So, yeah, you should absolutely do it in Maui. Are you kidding? Any of you in a big city like New York, Maui, Miami, Paris, I mean, you should do that. I think people would love it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a great opportunity. I saw that. It's like, okay, we need to put a program together. There's so many opportunities that we learn through our coaching world, that there's so many people bringing stuff in, and that was one of the ones that I just saw. So I just got a flyer from somebody.
Like, you're paying for someone to come to Beverly first class in the Beverly Hills Hotel. Why are you doing that? Think about it, honey. First of all, I told her how many referrals we got last year, the income from it. And I said, if we get even one or two more, okay, the cost is $10,000 for this little trip. But if just that one referral comes from it, and it's going to be more than $10,000 in most cases, it's worth it, right? So
absolutely.
I'm always the one, if I hear something I like and it makes sense to me, let me try it. Let me figure out my own spin on it, and let me just see how it works. Maybe it doesn't work. We'll see. But so far, it's been well received, and I haven't really. I just did a one quick, one take video about it. But I'm going to have one of my production companies create a little 30-second, 50-second video with pretty graphics showing the Beverly Hills Hotel and Rodeo Drive and all those visual elements, so it's more attractive and interesting, so people are going to watch it, maybe click it, and then see it what it is.
Well, I think, again, because we're in a secondary market, we have so many clients that come from so many other markets, and that's one of the things that what motivated me to start this program and start this network is that so many of my clients that come to Maui and buy already own a first or second, a third home somewhere else. They have realtors they're working with, and their realtors never ask them if they're thinking about buying or selling property somewhere else.
Right.
And, here's what a great opportunity: a trip to Beverly Hills, maybe a trip to Maui. There's somebody else I just saw giving a trip to Cabo. I think they're giving a trip away for another, and it makes you memorable as an agent, because when there's a lot of choices in Beverly Hills for realtors, but if all of a sudden somebody says, well, geez, I can refer agent X or agent Y, or I can get a trip to Beverly Hills possibly, and still get great service for my clients.
I would think for you in particular, I mean, from what I know, your primary feed markets are probably San Diego, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Canada, and then Japan. I would say those are probably some.
Pretty much. Japan's really not that relevant, and then Seattle is big too.
Oh, okay.
Because it's rainy and cold there a lot.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Well, cool. Hey, Christoph, if there was an agent that was brand new to the business and he wanted to break into the luxury secondary market in New York or Beverly Hills or something, and they're just starting, what advice would you give them to try to create a market?
First of all, it's going to take time. In the world of luxury, people know each other. So if it's whether it's people who live locally that are going to be your local consumer, or people who live abroad that are the secondary home buyers that come into your market, it's usually through connections. You have to start building those connections. And my wife and I have been doing this for 30-some years. I mean, we had a very specific plan. We wanted to move to Beverly Hills in this lifestyle, which we did. And but we knew that, being involved with the local charities, being involved in as many events as we can go to, that's a key element. You have to live it, breathe it, be it in order to sell it. Even just going to the farmer's market every week in Beverly Hills, I see a lot of the locals, at the farmer's market, going to the restaurants, going to the different parties, contributing to local organizations, doing videos about local businesses. You do videos for free for them to share about their business, and they're going to think of you for real estate. So I think, and then, getting on the phones, prospecting is always a key point, but you really have to know the marketplace. I mean, when I first moved from Hancock Park to Beverly Hills, maybe 18, 19 years ago, my price point was $280,000 in that market, moved to Beverly Hills. And I had not sold a lot in Beverly Hills at that point. So for the first 5 years of my career, and I still do this every week, I go out on Caravan. Every Tuesday, I go out and see every single house that's on the market. And I remember there was a friend of mine in the office. She'd been in the business 40 years, a veteran, and she'd come with me on Caravan. She enjoyed my company and would come with me. And she said, why are you wasting your time looking at all these houses for $5-10 million when you don't have any buyers for it? And I said, well, I may not today, but if they come tomorrow, I know the inventory. Right. And then I remember, I just talk about referrals. I got a referral from an agent friend of mine in Honolulu. It was a bankruptcy sale in Bel Air. And it was a house that I listed. It was $5.5 million. This is like 14 years ago. So today it would be like $15 million. And it came from a referral from an agent and because of my knowledge of the area. So I think you really need to spend a lot of time studying the marketplace, knowing every single home. And as much as I do it, I know there are agents out there that probably have even a little bit more, have more knowledge than I do. They've been doing it longer. maybe they have more sales than I do, and they really know their stuff. I mean, like the back of their hands.
Right. I think knowledge, and that really speaks to that. I'm a big believer. I've been in this business for 30 years, 20 years in Maui, and I still go to Caravan every week.
Yeah.
I think that if you don't know the inventory, you don't know the market, you really
Exactly.
can't be the best advocate for your clients. So,
Exactly.
Christoph, I just want to say thank you so much for spending this time with us this morning. You've been an amazing wealth of knowledge when it comes to video and luxury, and just really appreciate it. If anybody's got buyers for Beverly Hills, the Western LA area, be sure to call Christoph. Get a chance to win a trip to Beverly Hills. And I'm guessing if you don't want to go to Beverly Hills, you want to come to Maui, he'll send you over here instead.
And that's what's so great about Maui. Maui is reminds me of LA because you're in Wailea, which is the southern beaches and the sunshine and the drier, more sunny part of the island, right? Then you have Kaanapali, which is more the little touristy kind of kiddie zone. And then you have, Kapalua, which is I remember when the Ritz-Carlton opened years ago and we were going there all the time. And that's kind of the rainy, quiet part of the island. And then you have Lahaina, which is kind of the old town. That's
the whaling town.
Yeah. And that's why when like a friend of mine said, we're thinking about, getting a place in Hawaii. What island? Great. Oh, which part of Maui? I think as a luxury broker, it's important for me to know the key cities in the world, kind of what's going on and who the brokers are. Like, Manhattan, there's Upper East Side, there's Upper West Side, there's downtown, there's Soho. We need to know these things because when our friends say, we're thinking about getting an apartment in New York. Great. What part of New York? We want to be by the museum on the West Side, or we want to be on the Upper East Side. We need to kind of know that, have those connections with brokers so that we can, like you said, refer them and get a nice referral fee and have our clients be well taken care of by someone who knows what they're talking about.
Exactly. Well, Christoph, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And just remember, everybody, we are not selling real estate. We are selling the dream. So thanks for showing up on Selling the Dream podcast and blog. We really appreciate it. Have an amazing day, and see you next week.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Tom Tezak here with Selling the Dream. I just want to say thank you so much for spending a little time with us, watching or listening to our show. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. If you could also do us a giant favor, we get better guests, more guests by the exposure we get, and our exposure comes from getting your reviews and comments down below. So please take a few seconds and just let everybody know what you think. I don't care if you hate me or love me. Those reviews really go a long way.